In this video, we will tell you what happens to your body if you drink rosemary tea every day, how it affects the heart and blood vessels, cholesterol levels, blood pressure, brain function, immunity, digestion, liver and biliary tract function, kidney function, diabetes and blood glucose levels, weight management, cancer development, and much more. We'll also cover contraindications to rosemary consumption, give tips on how to maximize the benefits, and indicate a safe daily allowance for adults and children. We will answer an interesting question. Who lives longer? Those who love rosemary tea or those who ignore it? This video will be extremely informative and helpful. So, if you want to become a master of your health, click like, and let's get started. You probably know or have heard that rosemary naturally cures various health conditions. Let's take a look at the science behind rosemary's medicinal properties and how it can help treat a variety of conditions, from less serious to more serious conditions such as digestive problems, as well as the latest evidence for its use in treating more serious neurodegenerative diseases. Be sure to watch to the end because there are some simple tips and recipes on how to add more rosemary to your diet. Rosemary is an aromatic herb, a member of the mint family that has been used since ancient Roman times, particularly for centuries as a remedy for headaches, to improve memory and concentration, and to get rid of gas and constipation. In recent years, its popularity has increased significantly as studies have been conducted to confirm many of these healing properties. Known for its fresh herbal smell, woody and distinctive aroma, rosemary primarily uses its needle-like leaves and oil, which is widely used in cooking as well as for medicinal purposes. While rosemary has many culinary uses, it has also been highly valued for its medicinal properties throughout human history. But what are some of its most popular and traditional medicinal uses? Rosemary's many health benefits are due to its unique active compounds and properties. Rosemary contains powerful components that have anti-inflammatory effects and give rosemary its distinctive flavor and aroma. Rosemary is also rich in phenolic compounds, plant compounds that have powerful antioxidant and antimicrobial properties. If you pick it straight from the field, be sure to clean and wash it before using it. You can also purchase it from herbal stores. Now, we're going to give you 10 good reasons why you should drink rosemary tea every day. Number 1. Helps regulate blood sugar levels. Rosemary is especially beneficial for those with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. Why does rosemary have such a beneficial effect on glucose levels? It increases insulin sensitivity so that the insulin produced by our pancreas works more efficiently. In particular, it helps sugar or glucose from the blood to be more easily absorbed by muscle cells. Rosemary also contains some substances whose action is similar to insulin, which also contributes to its effectiveness in regulating blood sugar levels. Number 2. Improves blood circulation. Rosemary improves blood circulation by dilating blood vessels, which consequently lowers blood pressure. High blood pressure is a known factor that increases the risk of heart and brain complications. Dilation of blood vessels not only helps to lower blood pressure, but also increases microcirculation. In this case, smaller blood vessels and capillaries ensure the delivery of more oxygen to the tissues. In addition, metabolic products are more effectively removed. The anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties of the substances contained in rosemary further reduce the risk of thrombosis. A word of caution, however, drinking rosemary tea or other forms of rosemary tea in excess can lead to side effects, which I will discuss later. If you have medical conditions, especially multiple medical conditions, or if you are taking medications, be sure to consult your doctor before using rosemary as a supplement. The same goes for other herbs, supplements, or medicinal plants. Number 3. Eases digestive problems. Rosemary is known for promoting gut health. Traditionally, it has been used for a variety of digestive problems, including reducing gas and abdominal bloating, easing bowel movements, and relieving abdominal pain, cramps, and stomach aches. Due to its antispasmodic properties, rosemary helps relax the smooth muscles of the digestive tract, minimizing possible discomfort. This not only relieves symptoms, but also improves digestion. In particular, rosemary stimulates the secretion of bile by the gallbladder, helping to digest fats, thereby optimizing the digestive process. In addition, due to its anti-inflammatory properties, rosemary is particularly useful for those who suffer from irritable bowel syndrome. It is also useful in treating inflammatory bowel diseases such as Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. Rosemary also plays a key role in balancing the intestinal microbiota, the beneficial bacteria essential to our health. Its prebiotic properties nourish these beneficial bacteria, promoting a healthy gut environment. In addition, rosemary's antimicrobial properties target and inhibit the growth of harmful bacteria and fungi. Number 4. Improves brain function. Rosemary is increasingly being recognized by scientists for its potential brain benefits. A key component, carnosic acid, has been found to fight brain damage caused by free radicals. In addition, rosemary helps break down a chemical in the brain called acetylcholine, optimizing communication between nerve cells and therefore improving memory and concentration. Rosemary's beneficial properties go beyond cognition. It also has the ability to elevate mood and alleviate symptoms of anxiety and fatigue. Many of these beneficial properties have been confirmed through various studies. It is interesting to note that as far back as 500 years before Christ in ancient Greece, students used rosemary to improve memory and concentration. Part of the benefits of rosemary for the brain may be due to the improved blood circulation discussed earlier. Improved circulation can reduce brain damage after a stroke, whether it's a hemorrhage or a blood clot blocking a vessel. Its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects have neuroprotective properties, especially valuable for the prevention of neurodegenerative diseases, including Alzheimer's disease, other dementias, and even Parkinson's disease. Number 5. Anti-inflammatory action. Rosemary has notable anti-inflammatory properties. This makes it an ally for those who experience joint pain accompanied by inflammation, as is the case with arthritis, osteoarthritis, or muscle pain. These benefits can be obtained both by using rosemary in everyday cooking and by drinking it in the form of rosemary tea. In addition, studies show that applying rosemary essential oil directly to sore spots can reduce pain. Number 6. Helps fight stress. Drinking a cup of rosemary tea daily can be especially helpful during times of high stress or anxiety. It also helps improve sleep quality, thereby fighting stress-related insomnia. Number 7. Strengthens the immune system. Rosemary strengthens the immune system, reducing susceptibility to infections. Its antimicrobial properties combined with its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties allow it to inhibit the growth of viruses, bacteria, and fungi. Historically, these properties have led to its use as a natural preservative that extends the shelf life of foods. Number 8. Liver detoxification. Rosemary is good for liver health because it minimizes the accumulation of fats in this organ. Not only is it beneficial for those who suffer from fatty liver disease, but it also provides protection against cellular damage or inflammation caused by medications or toxic substances. If you are facing liver problems, it can be a wise move to consult about including rosemary in your diet, whether as a condiment or rosemary tea. Number 9. Beneficial for skin and hair. Rosemary has many benefits for skin and hair health. It fights premature aging, promotes wound healing, and provides relief from conditions such as seborrheic dermatitis, acne, psoriasis, and alopecia areata, characterized by patchy hair loss. Its efficacy in these areas is supported by evidence. Number 10. Eye benefits. Rosemary has shown its potential to promote eye health, particularly in fighting the signs of aging. It can slow the progression of cataracts, clouding of the lens of the eye, and age-related macular degeneration, a disease affecting the back of the eye that can lead to blindness. The compounds and substances in rosemary have been found to not only reduce the risk of developing these diseases as we age, but also significantly slow their progression. What are the factors that contribute to the health benefits of rosemary? The health benefits of rosemary are attributed to the presence of polyphenols known as carnosol, rosmarinic acid, and caffeic acid. These compounds are known for their powerful antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and antimicrobial properties. In addition, there are other types of polyphenols called flavonoids, such as apigenin and luteolin, that interact with these substances. It is important to note that while much of this research has been conducted in laboratory settings using test tubes and animals, many of these beneficial properties are gradually being confirmed in human studies. How can I maximize the health benefits of drinking rosemary tea? To maximize the health benefits of drinking rosemary tea, you should follow a few guidelines for its brewing methods and techniques. Infusion like tea is a popular method in which rosemary leaves are steeped in hot water, to produce what many call rosemary tea. Decoction, which differs from the infusion method, involves boiling rosemary's usually tougher parts, such as the stems, in water. This method extracts deeper flavors and compounds from the plant. Culinary uses aside from these preparation methods, rosemary is a favorite ingredient in cooking. It is commonly sold in powder form as well as various extracts available in markets. Rosemary serves as a protective agent against toxins that can form in foods, particularly when meat is subjected to high cooking temperatures such as grilling, barbecuing, or roasting. This produces harmful compounds called heterocyclic amines. These compounds have been linked to certain cancers, including colon, breast, and prostate cancer. A study found that marinating meat with seasonings that include rosemary before cooking can reduce these toxic elements by 90%. While the main strategy should be to moderate consumption of overcooked meat or fish, incorporating rosemary into the cooking process is also commendable. Supplements and capsules. For those who want more concentrated nutrition, rosemary supplements or capsules are available. These capsules are often filled with rosemary powder, allowing you to capture its essence without the need for preparation. Tinctures and topical applications. Rosemary tincture, which is a liquid extract often mixed with alcohol, is used medicinally when taken orally, providing a concentrated dose of rosemary's beneficial properties. Rosemary essential oils, mixed with a base oil, can be applied directly to the skin. This method offers a number of benefits and is often found in a variety of cosmetic products, including ointments and creams. Aromatherapy and fragrance. Rosemary is firmly established in aromatherapy, relieving stress and promoting relaxation. Its aromatic essence is appreciated by many. It is used for diffusion, added to baths, or used in massage. Simple traditional way. Many people enjoy putting a few sprigs of rosemary in water, which acts as a natural air freshener, filling the surrounding space with a delightful aroma. Rosemary has also found its use in gardening for decorative purposes and is used as a disinfectant. How to make rosemary tea recipes. Ingredients for the tea: 1 or 2 teaspoons of fresh or dried rosemary leaves, 240 milliliters boiled water, standard cup, sweeteners as desired, sugar, honey, or maple syrup. Preparation. If you are using fresh rosemary leaves, wash them thoroughly. In a saucepan, bring water to a boil over medium heat. Once it boils, reduce the heat to low. Soaking. Place the rosemary leaves in a cup and pour boiling water over them. Allow the mixture to infuse for 2 or 3 minutes. Serving. You can drink this tea hot or cold, depending on your preference. Some people prefer to strain it first to get a clearer liquid, but either option will do. Note: although some people prefer to add sweeteners, drinking the infusion in its natural form will allow you to fully appreciate its flavor and health benefits. Preparation of rosemary tea using decoction. Ingredients for the decoction: 1 or 2 teaspoons of fresh or dried rosemary leaves, 240 milliliters of water. Preparation. First, bring the water to a boil in a saucepan over medium heat. Once the water is boiling, add the rosemary leaves directly into the boiling water. Reduce the heat and let the mixture simmer for about 5 minutes to allow the rosemary's nutrients to dissolve completely. Serving. Once cooked, strain the liquid. This custard mixture can be drunk either hot or cold, depending on personal preference. Some people enhance the flavor by adding a little sweetness, perhaps with honey or lemon. Note: a decoction usually gives a stronger flavor than an infusion. Although decoction is thought to help extract valuable substances and nutrients more efficiently, the choice between the 2 methods often comes down to personal taste. What are the recommended intakes of rosemary tea for children, adolescents, and adults? The recommended intake of rosemary tea can vary depending on age and health status. Here are the general recommendations. For children. For children under 2 years of age, rosemary tea is not recommended due to the risk of allergic reactions and other side effects. For children over 2 years old, it is recommended to start with small portions. No more than a quarter of a standard cup, 60 to 70 milliliters, of tea per day. Gradually, you can increase the dose to half a cup per day, provided no adverse reactions occur. For adolescents, teenagers can consume tea with rosemary in large quantities, but moderation should be adhered to. It is recommended to consume no more than 1 standard cup, 240 milliliters, of rosemary tea per day. For adults, adults are also advised to use rosemary tea in moderation. The recommended dosage is typically 1 to 2 standard cups, 240 to 480 milliliters, of tea per day, depending on individual needs and health status. It is important to remember that these recommendations are general guidelines, and everyone should consult a physician before beginning to consume rosemary tea, especially if they have medical problems or are taking medications. Now, pay attention. What are the potential side effects and risks of rosemary? As with any other consumable product, there is a possibility of allergic reactions to rosemary. This risk exists whether rosemary is consumed orally, as a tea, condiment, etc., or applied to the skin. Those with skin problems should consult a dermatologist before applying rosemary or its products directly to the skin. It should not be applied directly to open wounds or burns. Consuming rosemary in excess can lead to digestive problems. Drinking more than 2 cups of rosemary tea or infusion daily can lead to symptoms such as abdominal bloating, stomach pain, nausea, or even vomiting. Despite the fact that rosemary has various health benefits, its consumption should be approached responsibly. As always, the most important thing is moderation. If you are just starting to consume or use rosemary, start with small doses and observe how your body reacts. If you notice any adverse reactions, discontinue use and consult your doctor. In addition, rosemary is not recommended for people with symptomatic gallstones. Since rosemary increases bile secretion, there is a risk of expelling the stones, which can lead to complications. In addition, people with bleeding disorders should avoid rosemary because of its weak anticoagulant properties. Rosemary can be dangerous for people with conditions that predispose them to bleeding. Anyone suffering from bleeding disorders should consult a doctor before consuming or using rosemary. In addition, rosemary is not recommended for use during pregnancy and breastfeeding due to limited data on its effects. As for medications, rosemary may interact with blood-thinning medications, potentially enhancing their effects. Antihypertensive drugs such as enalapril, Linil, and Lartin may have an enhanced effect when combined with excessive rosemary consumption. In addition to being prescribed to treat blood pressure, diuretics are also used to treat heart and kidney problems. Rosemary can affect their effectiveness. Anti-diabetic medications. Rosemary may enhance the effects of insulin and metformin. In any medication situation, caution should be exercised, and medical professionals should be consulted about possible interactions. And to answer the final question, who lives longer, those who enjoy rosemary tea or those who ignore it? The question of whether those who consume rosemary tea live longer than those who ignore it requires deeper research and analysis of multiple factors including lifestyle, nutrition, genetics, medical history, and many others. At this time, there is no immutable scientific evidence that unequivocally supports a direct link between rosemary tea consumption and longevity. However, studies show that regular consumption of rosemary can have a positive impact on health due to its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. These properties can help fight various diseases and support the overall health of the body. If you have any questions or have anything to say, feel free to write a comment. More information on this topic can be found at the links in the description below this video and on our channel. Subscribe and hit the bell for all notifications. Please like and share this video with your friends. Thanks to our sponsors for their support. I eagerly await your comments and encourage you to watch these useful videos.